Hi, mistress.
Yes.
You remember a while back you reviewed Zaza Zaturna?
Yeah.
Well, so does another Patreon. So they think it would be absolutely fucking hilarious for you to review another Filipino queer zombie movie.
Sounds like someone has a fetish.
Yeah, it kinda does.
Remington and the Curse of the Zombadings is the sort of title you get when Google Translate gives up partway through. It's a comedy in the vintage on waters, and that sometimes it's hard to tell if it's really queer, really homophobic, or a frothy, santormy mix of the two. Director Jade Castro was a perfect choice, not only because he'd also done a couple of other queer films, but because Jade Castro sounds like both an amazing drag queen name and the classy gay bar they perform in. And in case you're wondering, Jade is his actual birth name, his mother's called Ruby, and he's a brother called Jasper. Because what's the point of having a family if it can't be mistaken for an episode of Steven Universe? Now, before I begin, like with Zsa Zaturna, this film has translated the Tagalog word bakla to mean gay, when it actually means femme-gay men, trans women, transvestites, and anyone else floating around the had/had cock and its masculine Venn diagram. Different cultures have different approaches to gender and sex and sexuality. They don't map perfectly onto each other.
And in case you're wondering, the opposite of bakla, which lesbians, trans men, and most people I follow on Twitter are called tomboys.
That's just adorable.
I know!
We open up with a jaunty, Harry Potterish soundtrack, and a kid desperately seeking its author's approval.
Ay, bakla! Ah, bakla! Ah, bakla! Ay, bakla, bakla, bakla! Ay, bakla, bakla, bakla!
This is young Remington, and I regret to inform you that he will not be the first person eaten by the queer zombies.
Ay, bakla, bakla!
Maaari ka nang mangumpisal.
Sabi, di ba kayo eh? Bakla kayo, bakla, bakla.
Okay, I confess that you're a little shit.
Bakla ka! Bakla, 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 bakla!
I'm pretty sure this is how Frederick Wortham started out. This whole intro is a classic cautionary tale worthy of Aesop's fables. Harass enough queer people and eventually you'll find one who has magic powers and nothing but revenge to live for.
Paglaki mo, magiging bakla ka!
Ah, shit. Now right-wingers are gonna think this is a documentary.
And for the next 15 years, Remington was stalked by the pink scarf of symbolism, waiting until his guard was down and his dick was up. Even though he was a little monster, I hope you're all rooting for him now, because he's rooting for all of us. There's a serial killer in town, but they only target bakla. Kinda like Jack the Ripper, but a bit more of a modern twist. Jack the Hipster. Anyway, here's grown-up Remington and Hannah, his on-again, very off-again love interest, depending on how gay he is in each scene.
Baka nakakita ng pinatay
Ako marami na. Merong homicide, suicide, parricide, saka yung pesticide.
Deicide. I saw Deicide live once, but I didn't take it personally.
Ako marami na rin ako nakitang patay eh. May lung cancer, skin cancer, bone cancer.
Cancer of the Zodiac is the worst.
Cancer ng lipunan.
Bakla.
Having broken the ice over a dead queer, a traditional part of the straight coupling, they're now in love. Or they will be as soon as they get over the usual relationship humps like Remington's upcoming curse or the fact that he might have kinda sorta killed her dad.
Ikaw si Remington?
Kilala mo ko?
Turns out that he was the priest in the prologue and he was so devastated by the kids mocking that he eventually died. I'm guessing it's suicide, but the subtitles don't go into details. Tragic, yes, but given the church's history with kids, you could also argue it was self-defense. Remington's having a hell of a time trying to keep the fuchsia Penangolin away. He's getting close and personal with guys, hanging out with shirtless sweaty dudes, dealing with balls in his face, getting drunk during the day, and even showering with his best friend. But nothing's working. Remington's best friend is Jigs, the town tuk-tuk. He's laid back, pleasant, happy-go-lucky, and having affairs with almost everyone. No matter what it is, the Jigs is up for it. Even when the it is his best friend, who's turned gay thanks to a curse, and has started falling in love with them.
Gaano ka nakatagal may gusto sa akin? Sa tingin mo, mandidiri ako.
In short, he's best friend goals.
Anyway, that's much later on. Tomorrow, he and Jigs are going to Hannah's mother's house to do some jobs. He's hoping that it'll help him get back on her good side.
Dadating na ako sa amin!
Bukas
Looks like Remington's never quite got the knack of a garden hose and is desperately trying to grow some body hair. Anyway, because he's keeping an eye out for that scarf, he misses the results of M. Bison's experiments in another gay Street Fighter movie.
Obvious joke about the film being unexpectedly short.
It's the morning and there's been another murder. At least it's how he would have wanted to go out, surrounded by countless tiny Benedicts. But even worse, Remington's been shaved. Blanca murdered his weird little off-center beard, his body hair, and apparently even his pubes.
Makes the old Johnson look bigger.
Mayor Trunchbull is getting rightly fucked off with all the murders. I mean, it's hard to have a vibrant and successful neighborhood if all your local queers are dead. Though it's not impossible, that's where the zombies will come in.
Kababayan nating third sex, they only bring joy, beauty, and laughter wherever they go!
I need them all just to balance me out!
Ironically, the mayor would actually make for a fantastic drag character.
Ah! Ah! Ah!
That was her rendition of I Will Survive. I can't pretend to understand a lot of the humor here. For instance, here's a random bird attempting suicide. And a policeman's hat is a hole in it. I could spend a lot of time wondering and researching and theorizing about these things. But it's much more fun just to wait for the drag zombies to finally turn up.
I'm bored. Minion, give me some drag zombies!
What? Like order them in? Like Deliveroo?
Yeah, that's stupid. Just kill some minions and dress them up.
What if they don't come back to life?
Well, then the next group will try it with you!
Oh no.
Actually, no. I'm kidding. You're in the first group. Plus, you know, we have pulleys and stuff if we need to use them.
Anyway, Remington's dad runs a local cafe. His one employee is Pippi Longcocking here. Probably fitted to be one of the victims because Remington's dad's best friend there is secretly the killer. And the one thing he hates more than queer people is having to put effort into finding a victim. Anyway, Jiggs and Remington are hard at work.
Pinasok-pasok mo ko dito. Ay, tutunga-tunga ka dyan.
Well, Jiggs is at work, Remington's just hard.
Ba't niinitan?
No, impossible in this temperature. Besides, it's too warm.
Hi.
This is a classic example of the inverse ratio between how suave you think you're being versus how creepy you actually are.
In fairness.
And a stalking fetish is born.
But stalking fetish or no, she's gotta be strong for the memory of her father. For the next 15 minutes or so.
Bakit nga pala siya nakitim? May namatay ba?
Naalala mo ba yung tatay ko? Yung tinawag mong bakla?
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
So after a short interlude for a piano cover of Emerson, Lake and Palmer's prog opus Tarkus,
You have shown us something quite new tonight.
It is new. It is, isn't it, sire?
Yes, indeed. Of course, now and then, just now and then, it seemed a touch,
Too many notes, Your Majesty.
Exactly. Very well put. Too many notes. Just cut a few and it'll be perfect.
Remington reports his weird assault to the police, and they draw up an identity parade.
I get the feeling I'm too much of a gaijin honky crackerwood to understand this bit.
Oh, wait, I get it. The guy was mostly naked and you didn't see his face. Clever. Now, you'd think that finding the Phantom Shaver would be an easy win for the Force after failing to find a serial killer, but you're forgetting two things. A, he was some kind of gay demon connected to the curse, so he might be a little too hard and oiled up to arrest. And B, these people are fucking terrible at their jobs.
Mimi! Umalis ka nga dyan!
Chief, last batch na to eh.
She's a little confused, but she's got the spirit. Meanwhile, Hannah and her mum are watching the TV show from St. Clara. Always good when pointless and confusing stuff gets franchised. It annoys more people that way. Anyway, time for a murder. The killer, Remington's dad's best friend, gets a late-night haircut. Sensibly waits until it's almost finished, and then, as though someone was doing a film adaptation of Orson Scott Card's Subconscious, the guy pulls out a gazer beam. Oh, fabulous.
The silly just went from a 7 out of 10 to a 40 fucking 2!
I always wondered what cruising would be like if it was remade by RuPaul. Actually, I didn't, but I'm kind of glad I've seen it now. Anyway, phase 2 of the curse started as Remington's been driven away to a romantic spot by Blanca.
Saan na ba tayo?
Welcome to the neighborhood, bitch! Well, keep doing this until you learn to appreciate a long shaft in your mouth. The curse is continuing at pace. It's now driven him to abandon what passes for his style and replace it with a 12-year-old girl's. It's basically what happened to Pantera in reverse. Anyway, he's come over to visit Hannah again.
Ba't walang kagamit-gamit bahay niyo? Pwede na kayo mag-skating dito.
That setup and payoff was so fucking fast to give you comic whiplash. Thank fuck it wasn't funny.
Anyway, he was over visiting Hannah again to see how the relationship was coming along. And the short answer is increasingly confusingly for literally everyone.
Powerful te! Winner ka dyan! Bang bang! Bang! Bye-bye!
Hindi ko naiintindihan.
Well, I'll explain. He's now fluent in sword speak, aka Filipino Polare, aka queer Simlash.
Walay! Salamin Jeneline! Dora the Explorer the Jennifer!
Remington, steel yourself, think of Pierce Brosnan, and when you've finished masturbating, you'll have a clear head!
Anyway, with that last victim, the police are getting kind of desperate, choosing to yell at the prospective victims to have more sex.
Kaya kung gusto yung mag-booking, huwag yung pa isa-isa. Mag-ordering na lang kayo para mas...
It's certainly a fun new twist in policing. Good cop, even better cop. So the last murder had a witness who's naturally concerned about his safety.
Huwag ka matakot, Isko. Wala naman nakakaalam ng identity mo.
Except for everyone walking past this corridor in the police station, where you keep most of the local criminals. But it's okay, if the killer was here, they'd have already arrested him and he'd be safe. QED.
Pero yung baril na ginamit, nakita ko na yun.
Saan mo nakita?
Being won for a couple of dozen tickets at a local bowling alley.
Sa kaklase ko si Ernesto Manansala.
He's the guy that won it. He had to play so much skee-ball. Nah, his classmate had a science fair entry where he invented a gaydar using goats.
Yung gaydar.
Nawala po yung thesis ko.
Liar!
I assume that knowing what kind of humans a goat prefers to have sex with is more important than any of us realized.
Kaya po niyang tuklasin kung alin sa mga hayop ang bakla.
Unfortunately, as a side effect, the gaydar exploded the gay goat he tested it on. Now, as spectacularly entertaining as exploding goats for fun in science is, the whole thing seems unnecessarily complicated, seeing as the only way to confirm the exploded goat was gay was to use another method to find out its sexuality. So how did the gun go from being used by a nerd to accidentally kill goats to being used by a dickweed to kill the greatest of all time? Simple. Remington's dad's best friend was in the science fair audience that day, and after he tried beating someone to death with a model volcano, he gave up and stole the gaydar.
Ninakaw po ang animal gaydar.
Anyway, the serial killer is still just kind of hanging out with his buddies.
Lagyan mo ba na pantalon? Oh! Sabi naman. Wow! Really dynamite!
As in, it goes off early if you handle it incorrectly.
Or too correctly.
Kanyang hinubad ngayon yung brief! Sabi ng babae, ano yan? Mitya?
Now, one of the problems with spending 90% of your screen time getting drunk with your friends and the other 10% murdering people is that eventually someone's gonna find your murder weapon.
Commence strangulation.
Still less death than the average cishet gender reveal party. Less property damage too.
Pwedeng si Paring Berting.
Ironically, I can think of much worse and gayer ways to kill people with that thing.
Ikaw ang killer.
tayo.
Dramatic chord. Anyway, how's Remington? Well, he's reached the being seduced by his own ass stage of homosexuality. Hopefully the rest of Chuck Tingle's opus will follow. But until then, a precious moment in a young queer's life. The light show.
It's like a brony discovered the Venga Boys.
This mobile disco must be how the Bacla bring joy, beauty, and laughter wherever they go. Hopefully they charge a mittance. Oh wait, that'd probably just be sex work. Later that night, Remington's visited again by the curse. He's pinned down as Blanca vomits jizz into his face.
At this point, it's just From Beyond all over again.
Hello, Jigs. Unfortunately, they weren't getting jigsy with that. He just had a fight with his dad, and Remington's mom let him crash there.
Problema tayo din na kids. Huh? May umiimbay sa akin, like, hello, Dad.
Those pink and white subtitles aren't gay subliminal messages telling you to buy Jade Castro's other films. At least not all of them. The pink is Sward speaking to English, and the white is Sward speaking to Tagalog.
Ano? Problema ka ba? Yun na nga yung sinisay ko eh. Huh?
Now, if only the body language is also subtitled. Anyway, Remington's now got a tramp stamp, though because he struggled during the nightmare, the curse stuck in the wrong place. Anyway, they slept in, and it's almost 11:30.
I don't want you to be no slave. I don't want you to work all day.
Okay lang ba kung doon ulit ako sa inyo mamaya? Ano, tol?
Parintay mo ako, ha? Park lang ako.
Sige.
Guess the clocks went back. It's 11:30 again. Anyway, all this is soon too much for Remington, who's having possibly the only accurately named gay panic in human history.
Sige, ah. Remington!
He is the most confused boner right now. And that's the least confused part of him.
I believe you make me want to experience new things in the world and discover things about myself.
Like how I'm apparently trilingual. He doesn't sound gay, he just sounds like he swallowed Lloyd Grossman. Everything but the cock.
I do believe I become myself when I am with you.
Right, well, 3 spectacularly boozy menus for our judges to stagger through.
I thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Master Chef. Tonight we'll be meeting 3 of Britain's most innovative new chefs.
Later, girlfriend!
Girlfriend? Ang bilis naman.
It's a classic love triangle. Boy likes girl, girl hates boy, boy slowly turns gay because of the curse. Girl likes boy, boy prefers boy, girl thinks she's dating boy, boy sits on top of something large and erect with other boy who doesn't realize the obvious symbolism. It's kinda heartwarming that if Jigs was capable of noticing stuff, he'd totally be down to date Remington.
Di ka nagsasalta, tol.
Wala na.
But we'll go into that later on. Anyway, Georgia, who works at Remington's dad's cafe, has had enough of her friends dying horribly and is leaving town.
Ano nga kung mabuti?
Are you a Sagittarius?
Bakla ako. Isang tingin mo palang alam mo na bakla ako.
Oh, sweet, new zodiac just dropped.
I like to imagine her main job is trying and failing to come out and she's just moonlighting as a waitress. So Remington explains what's been happening to Georgia.
Sayang kapag naging bakla ka, ang gwapo mo pa naman.
Mars, that's not a very politically correct thing to say, no?
Now, she's had an idea. It's not a good one, but this is a very silly film, so it still works. Go to a local shaman who pours wax into a bowl, revealing the face of the person who cursed them.
Kilala ko siya!
Miss Swift, I have a question.
Yes? What is it, Teddy?
Well, you see, Miss Swift, if they really needed to know who cursed Remington, why didn't they just watch the movie? Because even Teddy saw who did it in the first scene.
It wasn't out yet. They were still making it.
Oh, Teddy understands now.
You're really lucky you're good at music, Teddy.
I know. And Teddy's sexy.
In other news, the town is about to hold a Bacla beauty contest.
Ang gaganda nila, no?
Day. Beta ni Murphy, pakita dyan mo.
Clearly, they've either lost so much to the local queer community that they've had to start importing replacements, or they figure they could still get a decent amount of tourism out of having the serial killer with the largest kill count in history. I have to say that Remington's really letting his new side down. I mean, most gay people wouldn't be seen murdered in that shirt. So, apparently, a Filipino queer stereotype is being able to play the piano.
Marunong ka. Tingin ko sa'yo, marunong ka eh. Sabi na, marunong ka eh.
Yan ba yung marunong?
At least that's how I read the scene. Plus, you know, piano, organ is a good pun. And the gays do tend to love a good pianist. Anyway, Remington finally tells Hannah that he's falling in love.
May nararamdaman ako para kay Jigs. Sasabihin ko na kinulam ako?
I hope not, because falling for Jigs is anything but a curse. I mean, look at this guy. He just wandered over and heard that his best guy friend is falling in love with him, and his reaction is to calmly tell Remington that he's had sex with guys, put his arm around him supportively, and lets him cycle through an almost infinite amount of conflicting emotions.
Gaano ka nakatagal may gusto sa akin?
About 48 hours. What I love about this, apart from being fucking hilarious, is that Jigs legitimately loves Remington and he's there for him. Whether it's his best buds or a couple, he really doesn't care.
He's like friendship goals and relationship goals got together and had a wholesome, apathetic son.
Anyway, Jigs eventually pulls out of the foreplay, unfortunately. He's worried that if Remington has sex with him, he'll become a target for the killer. He's not worried about himself, though, partially because in the local culture, Jigs is considered straight, and magic hate crime guns are famous for respecting cultural minutiae. But mostly because he did sex with all the previous victims.
Dinu mo?
Ooh. Is there anyone in town who hasn't had sex with Jigs? I will say this, though, Jigs definitely has a type. Humans.
Sorry ah.
Anyway, the local carnival started. In a financially prudent move, the production segregated most of the town's population into the stock footage. Meanwhile, over at the cafe, the villain has started monologuing about why he hates baklas.
Unti-unti at patago nilang sinisira ang ating.
Dude, I've been watching the film. They can't even dress insidiously.
I really want to know if that's a censorship joke or to show that he has no intelligible complaints or all that and more.
Ligtasan ng ating bansa, ng ating bayan.
Anyway, Remington, Hannah, and Jigs have gone to a local cemetery to try and work out the identity of the mysterious Baclau curse dam. They found the right spot.
Lagi sigurong binibisita yun, no?
But it's a dead end until they see the local superhero, the Grave Digger, keeping his lone vigil over his city.
Alam niyo ho ba kung sinong laging nadalaw dito?
Ang pinakamalapit sa kanyang puso, si Papa Sergio Perte.
Wait, something's missing. And there's too much of something else. That is so much better.
The house belongs to Pops Ricafuerte. Yes, Pops. Based on my research, remembering that the villain in Jazz Saturno was probably Pops Fernandez, I think Pops is a woman name in the Philippines. And the fact that it'd make a great drag queen name is just a bonus. Pops has gone full on Mrs. Havisham ever since her partner died 15 years ago.
Hello!
Never leaving the house, having a possibly inappropriate relationship with a young servant, not aging, and pretending to be disabled just for the drama of it all.
I might not know who Mrs. Havisham is. I guess I'm too cynical to have great expectations.
Sabi niyo paglaki ko, magiging bakla ho ako.
Sinabi ko yun!
I'll sum the scene up. For you, the moment when Pops Ricafuerte cursed you to become gay was the most important day of your life. For me, it was a mild amusement in a lifetime of abuse.
Makakaalis ka na.
Ikaw ang nagsumpa! Ikaw ang bakla! 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 Bakla ka! You deserve it! You deserve it!
And thus begins the highest stakes slap fight outside of the Bully Brothers' Dracula. Anyway, she agrees to help him try and lift the curse. They do this with a seance, and Stanley Kubrick's ass is wide shut.
Beginning to think the spirit was absolute vodka.
So there is a cure, but it requires a man who hasn't had sex with men or baklas to take the curse onto himself. Jigs looks crushed that he can't take one for his friend. Then another, and another, and another, ad infinitum.
Sana makahanap ka ng kapalit mo.
Mga bakla kayo.
You have reached Rinang Bakla.
Ninong!
You know, I wondered how he was able to track them down, but then I remembered it is literally a gaydar.
Lumayas ka sa pamamahay ko!
Ikaw ang killer!
Ito naman!
Turn around, look at what you see.
Anyway, the young man was Pops' nephew and he survived. I assume because the killer forgot to pack a straight killing gun, also known as a gun. And he's decided to get revenge on the cruel world the only way he knows how. Necromancy.
Wake up po!
Right! Yes, right! 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 Putang ina! Ano ba yun?
Kaya Marlon, tignan mo sa ate baby umiiyak.
Send more femboys! Oh, sweet. Homo coming out was my favorite episode of Masters of Horror. Oh, the spell even brought the goat back. The gayest of all town. Anyway, Star Twink 3, the search for Remington's replacement's going well.
Sino sa inyo ang wala pang karanasan si gay?
Bros before hoes. We love to see it.
Tuloy mo na yan. Kahit maging bading ka pa.
Oo nga, sige. Bet ko na rin naman.
Anyway, Hannah gives a speech explaining that Remington can't be gay, totally not because she loves him, but because he's too lazy and weak to be a bakla.
Ginagawa mo lang naman kung ano yung madali para sa'yo eh. Hindi mo kayang ipaglaban kung ano ang gusto mo.
Well, at least the speech inspires somebody.
Guys! Bakla ako!
You might not have realized, but the costumer kind of already outed you.
Sabi ko na nga ba eh, hindi ka lasing nun.
Across town, the pageant's dance section has begun, and in a move as groundbreaking as the Rose of Tralee accepting trans women, they're now accepting zombies.
Bakit? Ganun yung amoy ng pabango mo? Amoy tae?
The only thing slower than that dance is him.
Ay, hayop ang makeup.
Ay, siya nga. Very fresh na approach.
Sige, akong bahala sa'yo ha. Ligo mo na, ligo.
And dial again.
The thing?
I'll show you how we deal with substandard beauty contestants in this town. Oh no! This thing doesn't have a shoot them in the head setting! Curses! Hoist by my own petard's kill count! Or at least I would be if I didn't have the ability to run faster than they can shamble! Ah ha ha ha! Most of the town hides in the local church. Now, if this particular church had a peso for every time its townsfolk had to hide in it from gay zombies outside, it'd have 2 pesos. Oh. No, wait, it'd only have 1, because although this is the same church in charge of the Turna, this time the zombies are inside too. I knew it! And the moon looks down on the havoc it's created like the proud babushka it is. Anyway, the killer once more tracks down Remington, and when faced between killing him or trying to save his totally hetero life mate from the Neanderthal Supremes, he chooses the latter because obvious twist is obvious.
Ay, napaklase kuya. Kuya? Ang tagal mong kuya?
Call me old-fashioned and traditional and oh so limited-minded, but I kind of feel that the gun's sentience should have been established earlier. At the very least, not right before the film kind of turns its destruction into a hate crime. Oh, thank fuck the mayor's still alive. This is what you get for bringing joy, beauty, and laughter wherever you go!
Don't bite that zombie! You don't know where it's been!
You know, they take advantage of a lull in the action to talk to Remington's dad.
Paano mawawala ang sumpa?
I was genuinely curious about how they'd end all this. There are many obvious ways, and frankly, few of them are good. Hell, I was thinking it might end up with Remington buying in a poly three-way with Jiggs and Hannah. You know, make him a double-barreled Remington, sex smarts top the line. But nah, Remington's dad wants to make amends for being forced to go along with the killer, so takes a curse onto himself.
Papunta ka pa lang. Babalik na ako.
And if you play your cards right, you can do a lot more swinging after you take the curse.
Hindi ba ako pwedeng maging ama? Si Mami. Mauunawaan niya.
This is a very heartfelt conversation. It is truly beautiful to see a family interacting and communicating like this, but maybe you should wait until after the zombies have been dealt with.
Ako! Si Eduardo Pilimon Martinez! Buong bayang maging bakla! Habang buhay!
And the moral of the story is to not let your kids be queer-phobic little shits, because what comes around goes around, and then comes around again. Anyway, it's the morning and the local media is interested in what's been going on.
Dito sa atin, marami-rami na rin akong nasaksihan.
Like a giant frog that came out of the magic volcano. A magic volcano? We have one of those? And on with the epilogue. The killer is still dead. Remington's parents are adjusting to life as hag and fag. Hannah's mother now has the courage to skate in public. The Zombadings has started an internet business.
May order tayo from Germany. Dali.
And Remington, Hannah and Jiggs have just given up and set the relationship status to very fucking complicated. She loves a good pianist, and so does he. It's a little more ambiguous than what I wanted, but it's still the best ending for a trio in a horror comedy since the three from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Day, bakla, oh. Ang ganda.
Oh, it's like the whole town learned a very valuable lesson. Okay, this film is a delight. Its playful ambiguity lands it with stuff like late-stage John Waters, and the vast majority of the humor travels extremely well. If you want something silly, witty, and slightly original, then give this a go. You probably won't regret it.
I'm Demanda Hagan, and that's the end of the review. Apart from the credits and the next time on Demanda Hagan
이게 바로 바다?
Stock of the knot, minion!
I'm on my union authorized break!
Still need you to say the thing for the wonderful people who are currently having to look at me because you're not on camera.
The thing?
The thing.
Hey everybody, it's your boy Omega. Don't forget to like and subscribe, smash that notification button, hit the bell so you get notifications again on every device that you own whenever we're streaming or uploading or brushing our teeth or uploading content to Patreon. It's patreon.com/Diamanda. Do you still have to say backslash? Diamanda Hagen. Become a patron and the mistress will love you forever.
That is a level of enthusiasm I am not capable of. Thank you so much, Stock of the Knot Minion. You will not die today.
I'm charging time and a half.